Does an avalanche of mismatched Tupperware lids happen every time you open a kitchen cabinet? Is the back of your fridge full of random food containers and Ziploc bags filled with food that's just destined for the trash? Same girl. Or at least it was. A few months back, I ditched my expensive Tupperware containers in favor of $1 Deli containers, and my kitchen chaos basically disappeared. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how one simple container switch saved me hours of frustration, a pile of money, and a bunch of wasted food. Plus, I've got a bonus tip that my dietitian/fitness coach loved, and it's got to do with these cheapy containers and protein shakes. Yes, I'm serious. Alright, you might be wondering today where my Notion content is. Well, this channel is all about solving tiny problems, and Notion solves so many of them that I've been doing a ton of content on that. But that's not the only focus of this channel. If you go way back to when I first started, I did some random dishwasher videos, things like that, and I decided it's about time to get back to that. I absolutely love solving tiny problems, and I love talking about the ways and the products or the tools or the services or the apps that I use to solve those problems. So I'm going to start doing a series on my toolbox, and all of these tools and apps and services and things will end up in my toolbox, and each video is going to be framed from the perspective of this is a tiny problem that I had, and this is the way that I solved it, and these are the tools from my toolbox that I use to help me solve it. Don't worry, if you love my Notion content, there will be more of it. I have lots of fun stuff planned, but I decided I'm going to shake it up a little bit, and it feels right. Everyone's buying holiday gifts right now, likely, and just felt like I could use a little bit of something different. So let's talk about deli containers. I know that seems like a really silly thing to talk about, but the problem of kitchen storage, it's real, right? Having cabinets cluttered full of crap, having mismatched lids, which actually I didn't even have. I grew up with my mom, and she was the one who would have like 400 different containers, some of which were like old Country Crock containers, some of which were old Cool Whip containers, some were real Tupperware, like the branded containers that they would buy at the MLM parties back in the whatever decade it was, and none of the lids matched. It took about an hour to find one, and by that point, your food was already spoiled, and you might as well just throw it away. Like, just don't even bother. So, you get those like Dutch angle black and white infomercials or commercials on TV, or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do, but like where the person, it's obviously always a woman, of course, because kitchen, and she would open the cabinets and it would be like literally an avalanche of lids. Yes, that was what I grew up with, so it spoke to me. When I moved into my own place, I got a set of Rubbermaid containers that worked very well and stacked and did nice things. Even those do not compare to my love of these containers. I can't even tell you how much these have changed things for me. As you can see a second ago when I pulled the containers in, I have them in 3 different sizes. This is a 32 ounce, this is a 16 ounce, and this is an 8 ounce. So these are the 3 sizes that I keep in my cabinet. This is it. All of them stack inside of each other. Obviously, this one has a lid on it, so I can't, but they fit inside of each other, so you could stack them that way. And all of them use exactly the same size lid. So all of my lids stack in my cabinet together. It reduces the clutter in my cabinets immensely. One of the downfalls of the Rubbermaid containers that I had was that, yes, I had different sizes, but some of the different sizes use different size lids. So while they did stack together nicely, they didn't all stack the same way. These do. I have replaced every single other food storage mechanism in my kitchen. I don't really use plastic bags so much anymore. It's rare. And I don't use those Rubbermaid containers anymore. I just use these. These that I got on Amazon cost 50 cents per piece. They come in a set. I think it was 16 of each size. So it's 50 cents for each piece. These are microwave, dishwasher, and freezer safe. And yes, they're BPA free. I did actually check that. And I will tell you, I have reheated soup in this container. I have put them through the dishwasher multiple times. And they have been in the freezer storing things like soup or chili or pizza sauce that I've made, and they work amazingly.
Oh my God.
Another thing is labeling my containers. This is something that I've gotten much better at. I actually, for a while, was using masking tape and a Sharpie, and I would put that on whatever I made, like bags or my other Tupperware containers, and that works fine. What I found is even easier. Dry erase marker directly on the lid. All I have to do, let me make sure this lid is all the way on. Let's say that I put tomato soup in this container. All I would do is write tomato soup, and today's date is 11/20. I hate writing the number 5. Just a random thing. I'm very excited for it to be 2026. And I can stop writing that number all the time. But anyway, can do exactly that. Now, if you're in a situation where some people that you live with are a little more clumsy, you might want to be careful with doing this. But I know, because I live by myself, I don't have to worry about it. It can get smudged. But if you're careful about it, while it's drying, it really should be fine. And then also, once it's dry, it actually really won't come off just by hand rubbing it. So you really don't have a problem with it once it's been in the fridge for a while. I actually use a magic eraser to just take this off before it goes in the dishwasher. All the pieces, dishwasher safe. That is a delight. In an effort to keep these videos a little shorter, because I don't think that toolbox videos need to be quite so long, but I do have a couple of other fun tips for you with this. First of all, I recommend, so that your containers get even wear, as you store them, I store them like this. This one ends up in the dishwasher and it gets clean. Then I go to store it, it goes at the bottom. So I'm following the first in, first out method with my containers. This way they get even wear, and I don't have a bunch that are super raggedy and a bunch that are brand new. I do the same thing with my lids. I actually keep the lids in a separate stack as they come out of the dishwasher. They go back in my cabinet in a separate, clean stack over here. And then as this stack is getting low, all of these go underneath. And so I'm wearing all of my lids in a rotation as well. So again, you don't end up with a set of them that are super raggedy after however much use, and then a bunch that are brand new. So you get even wear throughout your set. And then the last tip I want to tell you about is actually my favorite. This guy has replaced every protein shaker bottle that I own. I don't use them anymore. Not at all. I even bought one of those fancy ass ones that I forget its name, but it's kind of twisty shaped. And I got it on Amazon for $30 for a shaker bottle. And they claim that when you shake it a certain way, it blends better. And maybe that's true. It is entirely possible that it is true. These blend just the same. And the benefit of this compared to any other protein shaker bottle is that you can have 16 of them and they all stack neatly and they're dishwasher safe, which that other fancy ass one could not go in the dishwasher. So now I have a protein shaker bottle always available. I sit this on a kitchen scale because the only downside is that this isn't graduated. It doesn't have the measurements on it. Theoretically, you probably could figure out a way to permanently etch a couple of these so that you could just have your measurements that way, or you could basically eyeball it. I know for my milk, when I make a protein shake, it goes about this high, but I just stick it on my kitchen scale. Milk is 225 grams. That equals the amount that I need of the milk for the shake. And then the bag of my protein powder says 32 grams, and I just weigh that as well. Also, I use creatine, and that goes in at 5 grams as well. The lid goes on, and then I have big hands, so I actually can hold it like this, and I shake like this, and I shake like this. And it's very easy to hold and to get really good leverage, and sometimes I'll even, swish it around. As long as I'm holding the lid, I'm not worried about it, and it shakes my protein shakes like crazy. Then you pop the lid just a little bit, stick a straw in, and you got your protein shake. This works super well. Now, one caveat to that, if you take them on the go, you can. And something that I have done is I have actually cracked a couple lids. So that's one downside to these, is that every so often the lids will get cracked on the side. For those, I have taken a knife and just cut a little X in the top, and you could pop a straw through. I don't think this will fit in a car cup holder, so that's something to be aware of, but you could certainly travel with it and that wouldn't be a problem. So it's just something to think about. Depends on how you do it. But for me, this was such a game changer because now I don't have 65 protein shaker bottles taking up a ton of space. I don't have to be down to just one that can't be in the freaking dishwasher and I have to spend $35 or whatever on it. And this blends just as well. Oh, and no, you do not need to put a stupid blender ball inside of this. Not at all. Shake it for about 30 seconds and I just like this and like this as I showed you. You can obviously do it like this. That's fine too. That's a great movement to make on camera, but now I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. I've just completely, one innuendo in my brain goes right out the window. These work as shaker bottles, so if you drink protein shakes, give these a shot, even if just for that. So today's tiny problem is food storage sucking, and this makes food storage so much better. If you want to get any of the products that I ever mention in my videos, they are in my toolbox, and you can get to that at queerefficiency.com/toolbox. I built that thing to not suck. So one of the problems that I have with other creators when they promote products is they'll say, link is in my bio, and then you go to your Amazon storefront, and it's 400 items long, and I can't find the thing from this fucking video, and that drives me crazy. So all you have to do is there's a search bar in my toolbox on my website. If you ever are looking for a product, you can use the search bar. Also, in this video, the product links will be specifically here. So I mentioned my kitchen scale. I'll list that as well. And the deli containers, the ones that I specifically bought. So you can go grab those too.
You did it.
If you've been around my channel for a bit, you know that I love to talk about Notion, and the same organizational principles that led me to deli containers are the ones that led me to Notion. One unified system, everything in its place, no more hunting around for what I need. All of those things certainly apply to Notion. In my Notion for Beginners series, I'll show you how to build a digital workspace that is just as efficient as my kitchen system. The first video in that series is the perfect starting point, and it's on your screen right now. Talk to you in the next video.